maximum volume. YouTube's, y'all know what it is. I be trying to produce in real time. But we are here. We are live. You are listening to Lurie Daniel Favors on SiriusXM's Urban View, where talk empowers and becomes action. We got a lot to get to this morning. We just heard from Imani Gandhi from Rewire News Group, who was talking with us about the Kilmar Abrego Garcia case and how that is really related to how they are essentially going to do everything that they can to get rid of everybody they can if they are successfully able to keep Kilmar Abrego Garcia incarcerated in slavery in this prison. And like I said yesterday, this is slavery, right? It is slavery when you abduct people, when you traffic them. There's no allegations that they have engaged in any wrongdoing, and you essentially sell them to another country where they have to work for the rest of their lives. That is what we call slavery. And I know we don't like to say these things, but that's what it is. We're going to call a thing a thing. But today, I want to have a slightly different conversation about the awe-ishness of white mediocrity. And it could be the awfulness of white mediocrity. It could be the awe-inspiring nature of white mediocrity. It could just be the awe that white mediocrity leaves us in, like how they do that, like where they do that. And I don't know quite what it is, but we got to have a conversation, because the question I have been posing is it worth it? White Americans, like was it really worth it to get rid of, to be able to get rid of all the diversity, equity, and inclusion, which you kind of didn't even really get rid of, but you're chipping away at it. You're doing the best you can. All the executive orders are being struck down. The courts aren't going for it. The law schools and the colleges are now resisting and pushing back. And so my question is, was it really worth it? This promise that you were going to make America white again, because we know that's what the great part meant for you. Like, was it really worth it? And by it, I want you all to pay attention to what the it actually is. We're going to listen to this clip. This is Rachel Maddow, who's talking about Trump's spending and the spending of the Trump administration as compared to the spending of the Biden-Harris administration. And this matters because I'm old enough to remember that the reason y'all wanted elongated Musk grant, the reason y'all wanted D.O.G.E and the D.O.G.E kids to come into all your agencies was to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. I'm old enough to remember that excessive government spending, that was your issue, Tea Party. That was your issue, Republicans. Remember, y'all don't like it when people spend money that they had to actually earn. Y'all like spending other people's money. Y'all like slavery. That's what y'all like. But y'all said you wanted to get rid of the excessive spending in government. And so here's what you actually ended up getting. I want y'all to listen. YouTube and Instagram, y'all are going to hear this through the audio. Urban View, you already know what time it is. Amina, let's hear what Rachel Maddow had to say.
The Trump administration is spending more on a daily basis than the
spending
Biden
more.
administration was.
Spending
so
more.
Even if the whole good idea of D.O.G.E is...
Wait, are you playing it out loud?
It has...
Hold on. Pause. Pause the clip. I don't hear it out loud in the studio. Okay, let's play. We're going to start it again. If Instagram, if y'all couldn't hear, sorry, but I want to hear this one more time because this is important.
The Trump administration is spending more on a daily basis than the Biden administration was. So even if the whole good idea of D.O.G.E is less government spending, it has absolutely failed at that, with Trump spending more than Biden did.
Spent more.
Cocky assertions about 150-year-olds getting Social Security were immediately debunked
because it wasn't true.
Not understand the data he was looking at, which is very embarrassing for a man whose whole brand is "look how smart I am."
He's not that smart.
His time in Washington has been marked by White House officials snarking anonymously to the press, like Rolling Stone magazine, about the perception by some in the White House that Mr. Musk appears to be high all the time. Also, that he's possibly the most annoying person on the planet.
He white and he high.
But the word doesn't do the situation justice. Musk apparently tried to get a top secret briefing from the Pentagon on China war plans. That was promptly reported in the New York Times, which led President Trump to show that he was both absolutely unaware that his top campaign donor had arranged this for himself. Trump then very quickly made clear that he didn't think something like that should happen. And so it was canceled, and Elon had to eat that too.
This is so bad.
Tried to get
this
back
is
into
so
the
bad.
Politics game where he'd done so well, getting Trump into the White House in the first place. He went very publicly all in with massive spending, ostentatious spending, and personal appearances to try to sway the Wisconsin State Supreme Court election.
And it didn't work.
Elon Musk's candidate then lost
the election. By a lot.
That was universally branded as a referendum on Elon Musk. Musk then installed his own choice as acting IRS.
Let's bring it down. because we're bringing it down because Rachel just goes on and on and on in her Rachel Maddow kind of way, talking about all of the ways in which Elon gated Muskrat is now spending way more money than the Biden-Harris administration was spending, which means the Trump and the Republicans are spending way more money than the Biden-Harris administration was spending. So you didn't get to save money. The firings that they have engaged in have been extraordinarily disruptive to every single agency in the federal government. But a lot of the people are getting their jobs back. They're being told that you couldn't be fired in this way. There's a lot of confusion. So we now have people who are technically fired, who the court said, well, you couldn't fire them this way. And because you fired them incorrectly, you got to bring them back. And so they brought them back. But then because D.O.G.E and them don't actually want the people there, they are now being sent home on administrative leave. So now the government, which means us, the taxpayers, are paying for people who were wrongfully fired, forced to be rehired, placed on administrative leave, attempted to be fired again, and then brought back. And you know who pays for all of that? We do. Was it worth it, white people? Was it really worth it? We now have the International Monetary Fund, according to today's Financial Times, warning. Here, y'all can see it because y'all know I don't like hiding them. I like letting y'all know, see my sources. IMF is warning of a rising U.S. recession threat. And we know that this is happening because we've got people here in these United States, experts and economists here, who have said, yeah, we're not heading to recession, we're in it. We now, as I said earlier today on the show, in today's podcast, I'm going to be talking about the student loan debt fiasco that is about to be unleashed on all of us, people who are in default on their student loans, now going to be going back forced into repayment with bank garnishments and bank levies, rather, with garnishment of your wages. So all of you who have not paid your student loan since the pandemic because your economy was bad then personally and your personal economy is still bad, guess what? You're going to go back into repayment. Was it worth it, white people? Was it worth it? We got to ask these questions because y'all have made a mess. You made a mess of all the things. We got right now, Tesla is in hell. And I love it. I love that for him. I love that for him. Tesla is doing so bad. 71% decrease in profits. 71%. If you live to see 71 years old, that is a blessing. But if you experience a 71% decline in your financial situation, that is a problem. And actually, it's a problem a lot of you know about because thanks to the embrace of white mediocrity, y'all also lost your 401ks. Somebody said their 401ks pronouns are were and used to be because your 401k don't have no more money. Was it worth it to get rid of the blacks, to get rid of 4-star General Austin, who was the head of the damn military, and replace him with P? His own mama said he's trash. Hegseth, who is now rumored to be like running the Department of Defense as if he was drunk and alcoholically inebriated, which is not a bridge too far. It's not hard to believe because before he got the job, we knew that he was often drunk and alcoholically inebriated. You got people talking about how elongated Muskrat is like high on ketamine all the time. At work. Was it worth it, white people? Tesla posted a $400 million profit. $400 million profit last year. This damn camera will not stay up for nothing. Tesla posted a $400 million profit last year. And the only reason they got that $400 million profit is because we, the American people, gave Tesla $600 million in tax credits, which means elongated Muskrat owes us money. He owes us money, and not just because we should be paid for looking at his stupid, ugly cars. That damn truck that looks like a Minecrafter exploded on creative mode and didn't know what the hell they were doing. They had a $400 million profit, which again is a 71% decrease from year over year from before. But they also got $595 million in government purchased emissions credits that they then sold to other car companies. That's the only reason they got a profit. Otherwise, they would have been several hundred millions of dollars in the hole. And I know y'all be believing that elongated Muskrat is the richest man in the world, but he's the richest man on paper. And when the value of his company goes down, so does the value of his profit. He is not the richest man in the world. He's the richest con artist on paper, but he is basically musked up I feel like musk it up. Like, don't musk it up. That needs to be a new phrase that we use. Like, now we got WEI, white, entitled, and incompetent, to describe the entirety of white Christian nationalist governmental leadership. Y'all are white. Y'all are definitely entitled, and you are utterly freaking incompetent. So don't be using no DEI as a slur against us when you got whole ass white WEI government happening right now. But I feel like we need to have a new understanding of a new term. Don't musk it up. Meaning, don't take something that's more or less minding its business and doing what it's supposed to do and inserting your white entitled incompetency in it and destroying it for everybody. You musked it up. And they have musked up the economy. We are in a time right now, and YouTube, I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see this. I'm going to try to share my screen. This is something we've been working on here at the show. I don't know if it's actually going to work. Oh, you know what? It's not going to work because I didn't do the stream through Zoom. Damn it. We'll have to try it after the show. Sorry, I had a chart I was going to show you. I can't even show you because I didn't print it out, and we don't have the screen. We'll do that. We'll do the experiment afterwards. YouTube, just know we might have to come back to y'all for an experiment after the show. But we are basically right now in a time where if you look at the amount of money that elongated muskrat promised Doge was going to save, it was $2 trillion. Do you remember that? When elongated muskrat came into office, he said it was going to save $2 trillion. That was what they campaigned on. And y'all allowed him to come in and musk up the economy. In January 30th of this year, they lowered that to just $1 trillion because they quickly realized, oh shit, we can't save $2 trillion. That's not going to happen. And then on April 10th of this year, right after Liberation Day, they lowered it again to $150 billion. They went from $2 trillion to just $150 billion. Then when you look at what D.O.G.E said they was going to do, they claimed that they saved $92 billion. $92 billion. Basically, elongated muskrat is saying the destruction of the American government, the destruction of all of our international relationships was worth it because he saved less money than the Black community spends on a good year. And I'm talking about Black community. I'm not even talking about underground money. If the Black community spends over $1 trillion a year, and D.O.G.E is saying that they claiming that they saved $92 billion. You mean to tell me you saved America less money than what Black people spend on Dutches and all the things that we buy above and below ground? Are you kidding me right now? But what we actually know is that they actually only saved $63 billion. And that's what we know with their receipts. But their receipts, which they itemize, are also wrong because they don't do math. Because they got rid of all the Black and brown people who can add. Was it worth it? White people, was it worth it? You just destroyed, D.O.G.E got into every single system. And here's just a few of the systems that they disrupted. D.O.G.E has already, they went into the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. This is the agency that's responsible for regulating what happens on the roadway so that people don't crash into each other. They are the ones who ensure that when your car brakes don't work, that your car don't get sold no more, right? They're the ones that say, ooh, this gas tank, when we fill it up, the gas just pour right out the bottom because the gas ain't made well. So you can't drive these cars no more on the road. That's what this agency does. This agency is also the agency that was investigating elongated muskrat because the Teslas keep blowing up. I got a lot of sisters, friends with Teslas. Please drive safely. Friends don't let friends drive in death cars. And elongated muskrat was being investigated because remember the self-driving cars that he said years ago he was going to have, and you kind of have it right now? Well, they kept crashing into things, and then people kept dying. And so this agency, which is an agency that all of us rely upon, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. This agency was investigating elongated muskrat's Teslas. Why your Cybertrucks made with the wrong glue, genius? You freaking genius. You white, entitled, and incompetent genius. So brilliant. So much of an example of the master race that you literally made your Cybertrucks with the wrong fucking kind of glue. Your shit was falling apart on the highway, son. You're not that bright. And this agency was supposed to make sure, was investigating Tesla. This agency was bringing charge. They were investigating. And elongated muskrat took D.O.G.E into the agency, an agency that we all rely upon, gutted it. Got rid of the fire safety experts. Or the car safety experts, which means because he gets a personal benefit. So Tesla's no longer going to be interviewed, investigated, whatever you want to call it, because ain't nobody working at this agency anymore because he just got rid of all of them. But now that he got rid of all of them, what's keeping the rest of us safe on the highway? What is keeping the rest of us from being shat upon or skeeted upon by the parts that are falling off of cars made by elongated muskrat? NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency. Every morning I wake up, I check the weather report because I need to make sure my kids are going to be properly dressed when they leave the car. I need to make sure I'm going to be properly dressed. I want to make sure my husband, if it's going to be a winter storm at 2, I want to make sure he got a coat because I want him to be healthy and safe. And now they're destroying NOAA. They're getting rid of personnel at the National Oceanic Atmospheric Agency. We're going to talk more about this more extensively later this week. But that doesn't just give us weather reports. It also lets us know when tornadoes are coming. This is a system that lets us know when hurricanes are coming. This is a system that's really important for everybody else who's not named elongated muskrat, Donald Trump, or one of the Republicans that are getting rich off of the insider trading that Congress is engaged in right now. What are we supposed to do when elongated muskrat doesn't want NOAA to exist because he would rather privatize it? He and his billionaire bros would rather privatize every goddamn thing. What are the rest of us supposed to do when the tornado come and bop us on the head and we ain't know about it because we ain't getting no warning because they fired everybody who do the warnings? What are we supposed to do about the fact that all across the country, y'all are entering tornado season in Tornado Alley, and they can't even send up the weather balloons anymore because elongated muskrat got rid of them folks because he wants to privatize that agency so he can make a lot of money. And the rest of us are just supposed to what? Duck? We got Social Security, which has been thrown into utter chaos. My mama requires Social Security. We got Medicaid and Medicare on the chopping block. So white people, was this worth it to you? You got rid of all the black people in leadership, which is why your planes be falling out the goddamn sky. Because remember that there has never been a single commercial airline crash where a black pilot was behind the wheel in the cockpit. Every single commercial airline crash that has been fatal that we have had in these United States, there has been white people behind the cockpit, not black people. And remember, y'all lied to yourselves and said, when you listen to folks like Charlie Kirk talking about something, if I see a black pilot, I'm worried. Son, if I see a black pilot, I'm thanking black Jesus, because I know we're going to land safely. But remember, y'all got rid of all the black people. Y'all got rid of all the diversity, equity, and inclusion, the people who had to work 2, 3, 4 times harder than you just to get a shot, which meant by the time they landed that shot, they were better than you. I know that made you jealous, but was it worth it to now have all your planes falling out the sky? I don't know. You people math for me, because racism math would tell me this was a bad deal. Basic math would tell me this is a bad deal. We now have voter registration being completely upended. They don't want anybody with a vagina voting. White women, was it worth it? You didn't like how she laughed? Was it worth it?